it has been a very, very pleasant surprise. I am amazed to see and experience the growth Riyadh and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is going through.
Under the new Saudi leadership, there's been so much change that has been built on past achievements as well in the kingdom. King Abdullah Scholarship Program meant that so many people who wouldn't have access to education were sent abroad in tens of thousands, and that kind of built up a solid platform for this kind of reform to take place.
It's also great to see their keenness of investing in Pakistan with Pakistani companies. So I think this is a phenomenal opportunity for us as Pakistan.
We'll buy and install enough steel to construct 4,000 Burj Khalifas over the next 10 to 12 years. We will install air conditioning capacity, which is demand for paddy, equal to the installed base in the state of California. These are very big numbers, and so my call to action, if you will, is to international and local companies to not waste this boom.
Pakistan obviously in search for export engines within the country. I mean, that's the most pressing issue, I would say.
If you look at the example of South Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, and all the small Far Eastern countries, they were not themselves engine of growth. They were actually piggy banking when China was growing. So by providing goods and services to an economy which is big, which is vibrant, and is growing on back of natural resources and their vibrance, we have a role to play.
And when I come over here, there is so much talk about food security. So for a country which has 37 million hectares of arable land, and then you have the entire GCC, which is going through its own growth cycle and is in search of food security, that's a clear match.
I think we can play a role, particularly in terms of supplying food security to them, providing technological advancement to them in terms of we can export technology related stuff from Pakistan. And third, we can also provide them labor.
We see Pakistan as a source of talent, certainly. We see Pakistan as a market on its own, given the size of the population.
If you can own the corridor between Pakistan and the Middle East, you can really build a great company. Saudi, UAE, GCC can give you some things that Pakistan or Egypt cannot give today. But Pakistan also gives a lot of advantages that GCC cannot give.
So Saudi established a new ministry called MISA, Ministry of Investment. And one of the purposes of MISA is to basically soft land international startups wanting to operate in Saudi. And Pakistan is one of the leading nations in technology.
So Pakistan needs to find a pivot and needs to see if Saudi Arabia can be that engine of growth on which we can piggy bank.
This is the time to show from the founders discipline and really the perseverance and just ruthlessness on the cost.
You have to truly build businesses that can really create impact, but at the same time have net positive sort of contribution margins.
It's a very good opportunity for Pakistani businesses. I'm so glad I'm here. This is my first time, but I think inshallah it's not going to be the last, and I'm going to go back and encourage a lot of our businesses back home to come here. They literally need to see the openness and the readiness of investors over here to do business in Pakistan.
The kingdom has very heavily implemented their path on the way to Vision 2030. The ability for women empowerment today is huge. You see it in the competence and the employment of women in very senior positions.
It's really heartening to see what they're doing on diversity. The women participation in Saudi Arabia has gone up a few notches.
Whether you're talking about governments or quasi-governments, sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, investments, investment firms, the heads of many of their biggest divisions is women.
This has been an eye-opener for me. We've been talking about development in Saudi Arabia for the last few years, but seeing is believing. And believe me, my perspective of this country has changed.